Hey there everyone, AJ back again for the Mighty Gluestick channel, so named because I started off on YouTube making Dungeons & Dragons terrain and miniatures involving both hot glue guns and paper glue sticks, and the name just sort of stuck. I'll let myself out. Today I wanted to share a review of a hardcover book I purchased from DriveThruRPG or the DM's Guild. These print-on-demand titles are, I believe, printed in the UK before flying their way around the world to be in New Zealand. The book in question is The Great Dale, a Forgotten Realms sourcebook. It's a campaign guide to the unapproachable east region of Faerun. And if you want to skip to the chase, this is an excellent book. I have a lot of praise for it. I really enjoyed reading it, and I think you certainly get your money's worth when you buy it, so buy it. Do I have gripes about the book? Well, I do have one, but it's pretty minor, and that is the map included in the book. It is accurate, but I really wish the production team had spent some money into this part of the book and hired someone like Mike Schley or Devin Rue. Links to check out their stuff down below. I found myself flipping back to page 55 so often I just sort of dog-eared the page to bookmark it. Spoiler alert, there is a large 2-page version of the same map at the very end of the book, so if you don't have to do that. Now, that aside, on to everything that I loved about the book, which was everything else. First off, it's well made and smells nice. The cover is vibrant and depicts artist Nastya Len's image of the villainous Vesholva Vadrova, an evil follower of the god Talona, who we learn about in the book, one of the many agents and factions that make the region really interesting. The pages are matte white and sturdy with a good finger feel. Print is not too large or small, and the layout of this book is really a standout feature. It has a good table of contents on page 3, aside from it not mentioning the map at the very end of the book, but that's okay. I read this book from start to finish, cover to cover, and each section flowed very well into the others with very little repeated information, and it's written in such a way that the information on the setting is already well established in your mind before you hit the fairly comprehensive timeline, and by the end of the book you'll not only know what is current and going on in the Great Dale as of 5th edition's leap into the year 1491 of the Dale Reckoning calendar, but you will also have a much better understanding of what is going on in Thesk, Impultur, Narfell and Reshimen. This book imparts a very solid feel for the area, the people who live there and the motivations and ambitions they have. It's like sitting down and getting all the local gossip from a really well-informed Harper agent at a local tavern. So, why is the Great Dale so interesting, and why would you want to include this in your campaign? After all, it's a very long way from the Sword Coast. It's a big continent. There are many locations of great importance other than the city of Waterdeep. Even there, the reach of the Red Wizards of Thay can be felt, and Thay is even further away. Trade has begun to resume much as it once was in the nations around the central Sea of Fallen Stars. The coastal ports of Impultur, Thesk, and the now bustling city of Uthmere in the Great Dale are bringing new settlers to the region. There is some conflict over forest resources, with the very traditional and powerful druid circle of Leth confronting settlers over logging the forest of Lether. To the north of the Dale, the Dunwood, named after the fortified ruin of Duntharos, holds many of the secrets of ancient, wicked, and mighty Narfell. After all, Duntharos was the capital of that empire. Dark demon and fiend summoning and binding magic is to be found in ruins dotted across the cold forest and the bleak steppes of Narfell. There are still horrific massacres of whole villages from freely roaming demons, and the druids have kept the demons at bay as best they could for centuries, and so have a position of popular authority among the people of the Dale. With the revitalization of Uthmere, a new lord from Impultur has taken up residence and brought a lot of trade and migration with him. But there is a growing tension between Lord Berold and the recently appointed Nenthiarch, leader of the Druids. There are all sorts of factions at work, not just in the Great Dale but also beyond. For instance, I want to learn more about the Shadow Masters, who operate over a very wide area from the city of Telflam in Thesk. Shadow Masters are a religious thieves guild who are dedicated to the Church of Mask. There are deadly enemies of the Shadow Masters, one of the organisations from further east called the Nine Golden Swords. If that sounds a bit like the perfect setup for some lone warriors hunting down thugs and evil magic users who did them wrong, then yeah, this whole region is perfect for that. The Monastery of the Yellow Rose is not far away either, so the whole region is crawling with wildly skilled martial artists. A 5th edition update to an optional player character race is also detailed in the book. The Volodni are a plant-human hybrid, almost like half-treants. They came about after the war between Narfel and the nation of Ruamathar. Ruamathar was a great eastern empire that spanned the lands that eventually became Reshimin and Thay. The Ruamviran people were known to be powerful battle wizards, capable of wielding both sword and magic against the demon forces of Narfel, and they kicked Narfel's ass so hard, a fleeing tribe of Nars took refuge in the forest. Some made a sort of a pact with a primal entity there, the details of it are unknown, and they became the Volodni plant folk, a whole new species. You can find all the details of them in this book, as well as many of the other terrifying remnants of the evil Narfel Empire, including demon troll crossbreeds, and one of the most famous demons in the region of Faerun, so important to the story of Narfel and Thay. We have a few pages all about the demon lord Eltab and his cultists. As with the remnants of the Imaskari and their portal magic, or the Netherese and their magical secrets, Narfel is a magnet to those who would seek the quick and evil path to power that summoning and binding demons allows. Included in this book are some prime examples. So this lingering legacy of evil and the heroes who stand watch against it do have a very wide-ranging impact all over northern Faerun. This whole area is a gateway to the Far East and the lands of the Tweegan people, which Faerunians call the Endless Wastes, but the Tweegan call Tarn. The Tweegans have attempted a mass invasion of the eastern parts of Faerun before, and so as we learn in this guidebook, people of the Great Dale and surrounding lands have a much greater respect for orcs, who stood with humans against the Tweegan horse lords, so it puts a very different historic and cultural influence on the place, which is quite nuanced and interesting, particularly for players who have characters with no awareness of the history between the orcs and humans in this region, who come in there with their own attitudes. Finally, at the tail end of the book, there are a couple of pages full of adventure ideas, but after reading through the 131 pages to get to that point, your head will already be swimming with adventure ideas and a much better understanding and appreciation for what is going on in the northern lands between Impeltur and Thay. At the very least, it provides a very solid backdrop for a few exotic northern eastern ports some nautical adventurers can stop and trade in, with an adventure on the Sea of Fallen Stars. There be pirates here, matey. Great artwork, great writing, excellent layout, good cover-to-cover reading material, and a very welcome addition to my collection of books covering the modern Forgotten Realms for 5th edition. Absolutely a must-have, and I am looking forward to see what lead designer Joe Rasso, along with the writing team of RP Davis, Emily Smith, Anne Gregerson, Derek Necras, Elise Gretel, Glenn Magus, Scott Bean, Alex Clippinger, standout, and Olive Clegg come up with next. Well done all, and an excellent editing job by Christopher Waltz and layout by Travis Legg. Well done. I think going forward I'll be comparing a lot of other books to this one, as it's a gold standard of quality. Get yourself a hard copy and a PDF, support third-party content and print-on-demand services, and if you know of any more Forgotten Realms products coming out that expand on Faerun in 1492 DR, let me know in the comments down below, please. And if you are publishing a book yourself, get in touch with me and let me help you promote it. Thanks for joining me for this book review, everyone. Happy gaming. I'll be back with more for you very soon.